Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Update on June the 21st. More of us definitely feeling the heat today. Definitely got into the 90s here in sun. It's still warm out here, here in Mineola. The South Shore, obviously the place to be. Jersey sweltered to near 100. Looking at the satellite loop, two things to note here on this satellite loop. The first thing, obviously, is this cold front right here that's kind of stalled out. It's just slowly sinking to the south. And the thunderstorms that developed just to our north today, just to our north and west. The other thing to note on this satellite image, as we take it back here, we'll wait for it again to loop. You can see all the haze in the air, so definitely some bad air quality. And actually, when it first starts, you can kind of see right there, you can see the dividing line between the hazy air and the hazy air over here, and the nice clear air in Canada that we're going to have to wait a while for, obviously, because this front is kind of stalled out. If we look at the weather map here, you'll see we have a stalled frontal boundary. It actually has it sinking a little more to the south here, actually, and so New England getting some relief from the heat, but we're not going to see anything, any much relief this weekend, unfortunately, out there. As far as the storms go, we did get some anvil clouds in the sky this evening. As you can see, you can see that anvil there. And then we had an outflow boundary kind of cross over us. It was left over from the thunderstorm. Actually shifted the winds to the north for a little bit, where they shifted back to the south, and a pretty sunset for tonight. So let's look at what we got going on outside right now. And again, you can see all the heat advisories and even some extreme heat, excessive heat warnings out there. Severe thunderstorm watches in the Midwest. We're going to mainly focus on our area. And you can see the north shore of Nassau and most of the north shore of Suffolk, west of, I would say, Port Jefferson. Or it's probably not Port Jefferson. It's probably Rocky Point. Is also in a heat advisory now. Though they don't have the orange over Mineola, they really should. Because it got pretty hot here today. Temperatures out there, yep, right around the mid-70s. Pretty much, still got temperatures in the mid-70s. On the South Shore, even temperatures in the mid-70s and upper 70s, actually, as you head toward the North Shore. And, of course, in the alley, yeah, it's still 80 degrees in the alley. 75, though, at Islip. But you'll notice the dew point is 70, so it's really humid out there. Very humid. The dew points are very high. Let's take a look and see what the day was like at Islip, because it did not hit 90 there. They just missed getting up to 90. They got up to 88 degrees, but they didn't quite make it to 90. But you see the dew points are very high today. Dew points in the low 70s. Very humid. And you know that there's more of a southwesterly flow. And there's that boundary right there, right around 7:30. See how the wind went to the north for a little bit? That was that old outflow boundary right around 7:20. You can see the wind shifting to the west-northwest here. You might hear a bunch of fans going because it's a struggle now to keep this place cool. I'm waiting for them to get me a second air conditioner because the one cannot handle it when it's this hot. For this, it's a little apartment, but again, because it's such a hot spot, you need to use twice the amount of BTU to cool the space that you normally would, because of the way this place is. And it doesn't help that none of my neighbors believe in putting their air conditioners on either. So you can contrast that with, let's see, what Farmingdale got up. Did Farmingdale hit 90? Yes, Farmingdale did get up to 90. So you see the further west got up to 90 degrees, and then the city got into the 90s. And then if we look at Miller Air Park, it's still 79 there right now. The dew point's a little bit lower, though. But they got up to 99 degrees, so almost 100 degrees there in Toms River today. And they had some power outages, too, to deal with as well in this heat. Right around 3 o'clock, you could see it stayed pretty upper 90s pretty much all day long here, getting very close to 100 degrees there in Toms River. Very, very, very hot conditions, though a little bit less humid, So let's look at, so you got the two extremes there. Let's go and look at the highs. We'll put the highs on the map here, and you can see here that Long Island, Suffolk County, upper 80s. If you're right on the shore, yeah, you're only right around 80 degrees in Suffolk County. North Shore of Suffolk, 90 degrees in the heat advisory area. Definitely got up to the low 90s there. If you're out on the East End, even hit 90 on the North Fork, 85 at East Hampton, Montauk 80. West Hampton Airport got up to 84. 88 at Shirley. Farmingdale hit 90. And as you get into central Nassau here, yeah, it was pretty hot here. We had temperatures that reached, I would say 93. I think the 97 is a little high, but 93. And the North Shore got into the mid-90s, 95 in Port Washington. Meanwhile, if you were on the South Shore, you had highs in the mid-80s, like if you were in Rockville Center. If you're one of the lucky people that can live there, and I need to be one of those lucky people. It really is a matter of survival. Save it for the mental health update, though. Highs generally in the low to mid-80s on the South Shore. Right at the beach, do we have any numbers from right at the beach? We don't, but I'm sure right at the beach, it was probably in the upper 70s. Yeah, 77 there. So, yeah, upper 70s if you were right at the beach. And then as you head into the city, things get hotter. LaGuardia got up to 97. JFK even got up to 91. Central Park got up to 93. And the Hudson Valley also pretty hot. 100 degrees at Hastings on Hudson. I don't know if I believe that, though. 95 at Tarrytown. White Plains got up to 93. And as we head into Jersey, mid-90s. Newark got up to 100 degrees today. Yep, they got up to 100 degrees. That's just absolutely brutal. 100 degrees in Newark and most of New Jersey, upper 90s to close to 100 degrees. Downtown Toms River showing 95. However, if you're at Seaside Heights, only 83. And if you're out here at LBI, only upper 70s. So you're right at the shore of Jersey. They also got a sea breeze as well. But you got to be right at the shore. It didn't really make it too far inland. Otherwise, you're dealing with temperatures mid to upper, mostly upper 90s to around 100 degrees in Jersey. I'm surprised that they have not issued the excessive heat warning for that. But excessive heat watch now remains in effect until 6 a.m. Sunday, with the heat advisory until 6 a.m. Sunday as well. So, and then we have the rest of this heat advisory here for our area, pretty much right through from noon Saturday to 8 p.m. on Sunday. Air quality alert also in effect until 11 p.m. this evening. And no mention of an air quality alert for Saturday. Do we need to look at the lows? Because they won't be that low. Lows generally in the low 70s, pretty much across. Some spots got down to the upper 60s, but mostly low 70s. City only got into the upper 70s. And let's see, 69 for a low at Miller Air Park. So not quite as cool there, but still it's quite a range, 30 degrees between, almost 30 degrees between the high and the low. At least it does somewhat cool off at night, but it gets hot. It was really a brutal day today across New Jersey. Brutal. And you can see we do have the excessive heat warning. This is another excessive heat watch for this area as well for the Mid-Atlantic. Obviously, if we go and pan out and look at our highs today, you'll see that New England finally got some relief. Let's see what they got up to. I think they finally got some relief from that crazy heat. Yeah, they got knocked down to the 80s. Yeah, only 82 in Boston. Oh man, I'm jealous. Yeah, they definitely cooled off up there. Look at that. Yep. If you're upstate, yeah, only upper 70, mid 70s for highs. There you go. That's the stalled front, but unfortunately, that front is going to remain stalled. We're not going to see any relief this weekend from it. And you can see right here when I move this along day 2, the front stays just to the north of us and then lifts back up to the north on Sunday. So, yep, no relief, unfortunately. Looking at the Storm Prediction Center, they got the slight risk in the Midwest. And move this along here to the next day. Day 2, which is tomorrow, we'll have a marginal risk just to the north of us, a slight risk in the upper Midwest, and then on Sunday, a much broader area of marginal risk for us. So Sunday looks like it could be a more active day across the area. Speaking of other activity going on, the tropics, we have 2 areas that they're watching. A 40% chance of formation off the southeast coast, and then another one off the Yucatan as well, if they're watching as well. Let's go back to the satellite image, and we'll take this to the CONUS view. So you see here, you see these 2 areas. You see this little area right here that's developing. You can see like a little swirl with that, and then you see this area here. in the Gulf of Mexico off the Yucatan. That's also trying to run. You can just see the big ridge right here. Here it is, and this little storm's forming right under it. Let's look at the southeast satellite. Take a look at this thing, because this is this little thing right here. Yeah, look at that. That's very interesting. Look at the little swirl it's got. Really interesting to see. Definitely got some tropical characteristics to it. And this is actually causing some rain and showers and thunderstorms to break out over northern Florida. Going back to the northeast, we'll show you the lightning, all the thunderstorms that broke out earlier today. So you can see the storms that broke out today. You can see them there, but they kind of just died out as they made their way south, as expected. Though we still got a few that are going. So if we look at the radar here, you'll see we do have a few. Looks like Boston got in on some of these showers and thunderstorms. Looks like some around Albany, and then there's more that are still going on in northeast Pennsylvania. Maybe we'll see if these hold together for us, but they pretty much broke up. If we go to the Ventu Sky, we'll rewind the radar here. We'll show you what I'm talking about. So if we go to the radar rewind, and we look at the activity earlier today, it was really impressive. Again, they got a decent amount of activity over here up in New England, but again, we didn't really get into any of that. You could see it kind of just stayed, and it was over Connecticut too, just on the other side of the Long Island Sound. But as you can see, as it got further south, it kind of weakened, but there were some storms that did have some severe warnings, and Rhode Island in particular, there was a pretty strong storm that went over there that actually did have a severe warning up to it. But again, it looks like some of it actually did wind up going over the North Fork a little bit. So some areas of Long Island might have gotten a little bit of rain from it, perhaps. A little bit of rain, perhaps. Let's go look at precipitation. And we'll put this to, I'll do 12-hour precipitation. See. So you can see, yeah, some areas in Connecticut some areas got a decent amount of rain there. 1 inch. See, the North Fork actually got a little bit of rain, just a very little bit. New Haven, 1.17. So yeah, Connecticut, Rhode Island, got some rain. Massachusetts, and again, we've been kind of dry now. Things have been kind of dry, so we could actually use some rain. 2.2. Oh yeah, so Kingston. Yeah, so upstate in the Hudson Valley, they did get some decent rains out of this. Yeah, but for us, nothing. So let's look at most of Long Island, except maybe, like I said, the extreme east end of Long Island got into some of it. So let's look at our climate statistics for today. At Islip, high was 88, a low 70. High was 9 degrees above normal, 8 degrees above normal for the day. And you can see we've only got 1.90 inches of rain at Islip. Supposed to see 3.04. Central Park hit 94, and the low was 77. The high was 13 degrees above normal, 12 degrees above normal for the day. At Central Park, even doing worse here, only 1.05 inches of rain when we're supposed to have 3.36 inches of rain. So you can see once we switched to the ridge pattern, it got dry, and we're not seeing the rain now that we were getting before, the excessive amount of rain. Now we're not getting any. It's like a switch, basically, has been flipped. 97 degrees for a high at LaGuardia. That's 14 degrees above normal. The low of only 78. 10 degrees above normal on the low. 13 degrees above normal for the day. And are we ready to look at JFK? Because they hit 91, I should say, at a low of 68. Running 8 degrees above normal for the day. And Newark, 100 degrees, tying their record for the day of 100 degrees, set back in 1953. A full 16 degrees above normal for the high and 14 degrees above normal for the day, and just 0.76 inches of rain for the month. You're supposed to see 3.16, so you can see they were definitely short on a rainfall. So let's go and look at the... I didn't mean to do that. Let's go look at the models for the weekend, and you can see we got the ridge here, got that still frontal boundary to the north. That's going to continue to be a focus for showers and thunderstorms. The best chances are going to be to the north of our area, but it sinks a little bit more south into our area, especially on Sunday, perhaps. We'll see a little bit, and then you see that low. You see this big ridge here And you see this low that's coming through the upstate, into the Great Lakes and the upstate, that will bring a front through early Monday and will bring some relief as far as lowering the humidity Monday and Tuesday before the humidity returns. And we'll talk more about that Sunday night. It won't really cool us off that much, but it will lower the humidity. So let's go look at the HRRR model here, 0Z HRRR. We'll first look at the precipitation forecast, and you see it's pretty much has the showers and thunderstorms dying out. Tomorrow, not seeing much activity until we get to the afternoon, and then around 3 o'clock, it's developing some showers and thunderstorms that might try to push their way into Long Island over the Hudson Valley, and then some more a little later on. And you'll see that there will be some more activity tomorrow night, some scattered shower and thunderstorm activity that could bring rain to some areas, and then it develops yet another area. This is all due to that stall front in the vicinity. You can see another area for later Saturday night developing to the north as well. So Saturday is going to be a little unsettled later in the day. This is all I have out for Sunday right now. It's not showing too much, but this only goes out to 41 hours. So let's go look at the dew points, and that's not obviously going to be changing. You see the cooler, drier air over northern New England. We're stuck in the humidity southwesterly flow. Tomorrow goes a little more southerly, so hopefully tomorrow won't be quite as hot for Long Island, but if you're in Jersey, it'll probably be just as hot. And you can see the humidity starting to rise back up over New England as that stalled front turns back to the north. The winds go a little more onshore, perhaps later tomorrow night, so hopefully it won't be quite as hot, but the humidity sticks around. Here we are Sunday with a pretty strong southerly flow that is coming up, and again, that should be a strong it should be cooler around Long Island because of the result of that. So the South Shore, but look at these dew points, pretty high, well into the 70s. So we're definitely going to be dealing with the humidity. Temperatures, not really going much below the 70s tonight. And then tomorrow, Jersey is going to blaze tomorrow. I think Jersey is going to get close to 100 degrees again, perhaps getting over 100 degrees for Long Island. We'll see temperatures probably similar to where they are today, except maybe a few degrees cooler. But I still think if you're in central Nassau and on the North Shore, you have a good chance of getting to the 90-degree mark. If you're everywhere else, you should mainly be in the 80s. South Shore, obviously, the best place to be. And you can see the showers and thunderstorms here dropping the temperatures over Long Island. Unfortunately, none of that makes it into New Jersey. And then not getting much below the 70s again tomorrow night. And then Sunday, we only have out on this model to 17Z. So you can already see well into the 90s. Jersey is going to blaze again, while Long Island should be a lot more comfortable. Let me go to the GFS here, and we can see what it looks like here. So this is Sunday, and you can see, again, temperatures are going to be getting close to or possibly getting over 100 degrees in Jersey, perhaps on Sunday as well. Long Island, you'll see temperatures. North Shore could still probably get close to 90. Again, better place to be is the South Shore, of course. That is the better place to be. So let's, and I'll put the dew points on here again to show you. Again, you see these high dew points, the southwesterly flow. But just watch what happens on Monday. You can see the front come through. Dew points drop into the 50s by the afternoon. So it will get a lot better. It won't be that much cooler, but at least it will be drier. Because if I look at the temperatures for Monday, you'll see they'll be kind of warm. Still well into the 80s. It looks like it is cooler somewhat though, so it will be cooler. I mean, it won't be quite as hot, but Jersey definitely not the place you want to be tomorrow with all that heat around. Let's look at the NAM next as far as precipitation goes. We could go to go to this. Let's put this back to the 18Z and talk about tomorrow. So the NAM. Not quite as active as the HRRR. It seems like it has a more scattered activity. And it has some activity more over Jersey, which actually seems to make a little more sense. But it's really hard to say where these showers or thunderstorms will pop up. But any of them could be on the strong side, even though they're not saying that. Given the heat and humidity that's in the atmosphere, it wouldn't be surprised that maybe we might see a severe thunderstorm warning or two tomorrow afternoon. Now, getting into Sunday, you'll see that as we get toward the evening, this is what we're going to have to watch for a possible line with this front. And guess what I also see? A V here. Look at that. There's a V right here with this front. When you see a V like this, there's a V right there. That could mean possibility of severe weather. That's a sharp front right there. that we're seeing here on the NAM. Of course, I don't see that on the GFS at 0Z. Not quite as dramatic of a V here. We'll go to the radar simulation here. Not quite as dramatic of a V, but Sunday's the day where we could actually see some more severe weather. That would mainly be in the evening. Okay. Skies. Let's do that. And I will go to the... This is the GFS skies. Obviously, we'll have some clouds around tomorrow. Cirrus, junk haze, all that kind of stuff. But we should actually start clearing it out later Monday and then Tuesday. Those 2 days look like they're pretty decent. And it will be warm, but at least the humidity will be gone. Let me just look at the RGM here as well, just to show you again. We should have a decent amount of sun, but again, you'll have that scattered cirrus, some jet chunk around, and, perhaps some cumulonimbus in the sky as well, which will be nicer to look at than the other stuff that'll be, but it'll probably be a little on the hazy side again. Sunday, similar deal, I think, with the sky. All right, we have to wait for this front to come through and start clearing things out as we get to it later afternoon on Monday to get some kind of relief from this. Let's just look at the Ventu sky as well, give us a better, higher resolution of what the HRRR thinks for us tomorrow. And you can see, again, look at Jersey just sweltering here. Long Island, definitely South Shore, better place to be, for sure. You don't want to be the North Shore, definitely going to avoid as well. You want to be on the South Shore. Sunday we see a much bigger difference across Long Island, where Long Island avoids the heat. It's much stronger southerly flow. Jersey, you're going to roast just the same. Thunderstorm Cape. Look at that. That's Sunday. Let's look at tomorrow first, all right? So you can see what I'm talking about here. That any thunderstorm that forms, again, with this cape. And, we could see the sea breeze boundary perhaps set some off over the North Shore. And perhaps even in Jersey, there could be a sea breeze boundary that could wind up causing some thunderstorm development. For Sunday, look at that. That's some nice cape over Jersey. A nice little line there. And then as we get to 5 o'clock, I think we're it's using a different model. But it is showing a nice amount of cape over Jersey. So, again, Sunday, I think that's when we'll have a more threat for severe weather with that front coming through. But anyway, enjoy the weekend. It's going to be hot. Keep an eye out for thunderstorms. Hopefully we get some. We could use some rain, that's for sure. After all the rain, and we're getting all those rainy days now, it's really hard to get some rain. We could definitely use some rain. And if we look at the precipitation forecast here, I'm going to probably have to go to, let's do this. Let's just go to tidbits. Back to tidbits again. And I'll show you this precipitation forecast. So, don't really have enough of the HRRR out to really do it. I'll just use a general one for the GFS. So you can see as we go through where those thunderstorms hit, you could get an inch of rain. But it's showing more likely a thunderstorm over Long Island versus New Jersey. And Jersey's actually been drier. So yeah, things are a little bit getting onto the dry side a little bit. But hopefully with this front, we have some opportunities to get some rain, and I hope New Jersey can actually see more thunderstorms. And this is suggesting perhaps it will, because again, if we go to the NAM, and I'll go to the NAM. It's the NAM 12. It's a little more encouraging for New Jersey, at least for the central part of it. Maybe not so much southern, but wherever you get a thunderstorm, and perhaps again, best chances are going to be north of us, obviously. But hopefully, we'll get to see some thunderstorms over the weekend because we need them, and I want to see a good thunderstorm. Still have yet to actually have a decent thunderstorm here on Long Island, so hopefully we can make it happen. Anyway, have a good night.